Hit that hall light when you come back, babe. The hall light. All right, let's go. Let's get started. Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. Welcome. So, if you're here, we made it again, another week. It's the weekend, it's Friday, and I'm so excited to be here. If you're in here, just tell me hi, send me a like, share this video. And also, we would like for you to engage in the conversation in the chat, if you will. Harlem and I are going to go live with several topics tonight. So I hope that you guys will join in. Harlem, I'm glad you're here. So you was on TikTok waiting for me, or you was just on TikTok? Let me see. Okay. Oh, no. You want out there. Cancel. Why is it doing that? Okay. All right, you guys, let's get started. I'm going to get the link. Oh, okay. And you're a mod on TikTok? I didn't know TikTok had mods. I don't know nothing about TikTok, but I really need to learn about TikTok. So I don't know if you guys saw the title of this live tonight. We're going to be talking PDiddy, the superseding indictment that just came down today. We're going to be talking about a little bit about Russell Russell Brand. I think I said that right. And his new allegation or his allegations, and then also Wendy Williams and just a few more little tidbits of information here. So I'm going to go ahead and get the link to Harlem, and I hope that you guys will engage. If you're not here live and you see it later, thank you for stopping by, and hit the like button. Subscribe to us if you're not already subscribed to the Black Link Experience with Phases. I'm gonna go back to Phases. I like that. So anyway, if I remember to say it. So anyway, you guys, let me get this link over to her. And tomorrow night, we are going to have a special live tomorrow night, just talking about topics, anything tomorrow with Eric, and hopefully Harlem will be able to come back tomorrow as well. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you all. We got to do something with this. Yeah. So let me make sure my volume is up this time. We don't want to have no hiccups like we did before. Hey, Harlem.
Hey.
Hey, I can hear you so good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
All right, yay. Harlem, do you know how, like, see how my background back there has like leaves or something? Do you know how to change that or no?
No, I don't know how to do that.
Okay, I'll figure it out. All right, well, welcome to tonight. I made it. Uh, I actually made it. Maybe not right at 10, but I made it.
It's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. I'm here. I was on TikTok. I tell you, people can go live on TikTok and they assign mods and whatever. So I'm a mod on a few people's pages.
I didn't know you could do that on TikTok. That's how.
Yeah.
So I'm late. I'm late to the game. So I'm gonna have to figure that out this weekend. Um, let me see. Get to my notes. So you guys, when you come in, so you see the title. We're going to just talk about it all. Harlem, did you kind of do your little research and read
I
up?
did. I
Okay,
did.
okay. I'm trying to give people. Did I grab the wrong book? Trying to get to my notes here. Did you learn something new? I mean, have you found out anything new over on the other channels that we're going to share?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll see.
I don't think I did.
Where's my notes? I just had them.
Yeah, but you should see because maybe you could do TikTok and YouTube at the same time, and that'll grow your people
Right,
for
right.
both of them.
So I know that on when I do load to TikTok, like I'm be surprised I'd be surprised at how many people like my stuff on there.
Mhm.
But I just don't know how to work it. But I need to do that.
Yeah, because you could grow your people on both, the TikTok and the YouTube.
Yeah. I'm gonna figure it out. But I gotta figure out. Oh, I found them, my notes. All right.
Okay.
So I wanted to talk about just something real quick with Chris Brown if you guys didn't see it. And I'm gonna see if I can add to my setup here. Um how can I do that? That didn't work. How do I okay. No, I can't. I don't know how to, because I wanted to also bring up the indictment when we talk about that. And I wanted to bring
Oh,
up other things, as we talk about it, but oh God, where do we go? I don't think I know how to get it. So it says present.
Yeah, I can't help you with that one. It got to be a way that you would share it or something.
I think I found it. Upload. I think I found it. Desktop. So the indictment is there, but the other things that he put on there for me is not there. So maybe next time. But anyway, so as long as we get that indictment on here. I mean that yeah. That's what I mean. Let's see. Yep, it didn't work. So we'll get this here. So anyway, while that's doing that and loading, did you guys see where Chris Brown responded to the TikToker who was struggling, wanting to come to his concert, but was struggling with her religion? You know, like, God is telling me I can't come to the Chris Brown concert. I really want to go. So what would you guys do? Like, I love me some Chris Brown, and I love. Let me see. Did I do it?
Oh, you got it.
Yay! I did it. So it just shocked me that he did respond, but he was really nice about it. He was like, if you feeling like that, don't come. You know, it's all good. Um,
Yeah, I
did you
saw that.
see that? Yeah. So I was shocked that he would respond like that. But anyway, just wanted to throw that out there because I'm a huge Chris fan, a Chris Brown fan. So that's kind of small for me. I was wondering if I can make it bigger. And then also, so we're going to get into the P Diddy indictment, and we're the new superseding indictment. And what I learned about it is that there's no new victims. There's no new like charges. They're just adding on to it. Is that your understanding?
Yeah, it looks like it's more charges or something that's going towards victim two.
Right. Yeah, it's
And I'm
victim.
trying to figure out who that is, victim two.
Yeah. So I hate. Well, I know, you know, for the privacy of it and for their protection or whatever, but I just want y'all to tell me who it is, right? Like if you're gonna bring it out here, tell me about it. But P. Diddy has been served a new superseding indictment, and it is regarding victim number two. Um, so there's new S trafficking charges, um, and and um again, no, okay. So this will make number five, number the fifth in the it'll make five charges that he's facing right now. The trial is getting ready to start, and it just looks like they continue to. I don't know. It feels like the feds are playing this game. Like he think he got to win, but oops, this is what we got on you. Oops, this just came down the line. And so they continue to bring the charges now. The one this I don't know what you guys think about the one that said that where they said um Beyonce and LeBron and who else did they say was there?
Beyonce, LeBron, Jay-Z, Gloria Estefan.
Yeah, which Gloria has responded like that is not true. LeBron's people, they've all responded. And I just feel like I don't know. I agree with Mims. I was listening to him as well. And I just feel like these lawyers are not vetting. They're just taking their stories and they're just running with it. And I just don't, I hate to say that I don't believe victims. Like that's not who I am. But the story sounds far-fetched to me. When it just feels like it just continues they just be on this Diddy train where they can say anything and the lawyer pick it up, and now here we go, we have charges. And it just kind of seems far-fetched to me. That's all I'll say about that. But anyway, the second indictment, superseding indictment, was on March 6th. We just got this third superseding indictment, where he was knowingly transporting with intent to engage in the P word, and the R word. And so what P. Diddy is saying is that he feels like this is all just a racist, like they're trying to use racist law against him, that because of his wild and crazy, intimate acts that they're going to charge him for those things. He's not taking into account, I don't think, that these are serious allegations that people are saying that harm them. But he's saying that they're, playing the race card, just like TMZ said they would. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, because the transporting is transported across state lines, that's going to be the Mann Act.
Yes. Yep.
And the Mann Act, wasn't it something that was
Yep.
basically created for people of color? That's how I looked at
Yeah.
it.
And I feel like it feels like, just even with R. Kelly, right? I just feel like they kind of, I don't know. I hate talking about that subject because I've already covered that and already did what I did. But I just feel like they just keep throwing this Mann Act out, and
Right.
it kind of is towards Black people. So like they were saying on TMZ, like they're definitely gonna be fight, bring their defense to saying that this is all a racist thing. But people are saying Diddy is probably going to walk. Do you believe he's going to walk?
I don't know if he's going to walk because there it's the Mann Act and it's the RICO. And the RICO is what they got to prove two of kidnapping, bribery, arson. It's things that fall under it, and it's like things that he's done that would fall under it.
Yeah. So if he's done, and the things that they are alleging that he's done, because
Yeah, that he's allegedly. I'm sorry, allegedly.
that's okay, that they're alleging that he's done, which like th- some of this stuff is pretty believable. Like, even if you have a wild, quirky, intimate mindset, right? Like, you need 1,000 bottles of baby oil, and you need to and then they talk about how they have to go in and clean up after these people. And then what Cassie said in her lawsuit, like, it's more than them. It's more to it than them just pulling the race card, right? Or it's more to it than them just charging, trying to charge him for his life. So I just feel like that something's going to stick. I don't think that he's going to get out. I think that the trial may linger on, because I feel like they're going to say that the reason I think it's going to linger on, because his defense is going to come out and say, well, we don't have enough time to prepare for that. Now here we go with another superseding indictment, and all these things. And so they are going to put, it's going to be drawn out. But at the end of the day, I do feel like that he will get time. So let's look at the indictment, and I'm going to put my glasses on for that. Okay. So let's,
Yeah, I think he'll get something too.
and I don't think it'll be just a little bit of time. Like, I think get he's going to get something.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. For I don't want to read all of the overview, but it just says the defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others. That's small. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. I was so trying to be prepared, Harlan.
It's okay.
Where's it at? Okay. All right. So as you guys see, the United States District Court, Southern District of New York, versus United States of America versus Sean Combs, P. Diddy, all those people, right? For decades, Sean, we're gonna have to make this bigger.
I just want to say you funny because you said all of those people, but it's only one
All of
person with a
his
whole bunch of
aliases.
names.
Let me say all of his aliases, okay? I don't say that. So anyway, for decades, Sean Combs and all of his aliases, the defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees' resources and influence of the multifaceted business empire that led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arms, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. And that's kind of what you was talking about, Harlem, of with the charges.
Right.
Mr. Combs operated his business headquartered at various times in Manhattan. Now, this is it's 17 pages long, so we won't go over everything. We'll just, hit the high points. But anyway, operated his businesses headquartered at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States based corporate entities, including Bad Boys Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global corporate entities. In the Combs business included, among other things, record labels, a recording studio, an apparel line, an alcoholic spirits business, a marketing agency, and a television network and media company. So, at times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, engaged in a persistent and persuasive pattern of abuse towards women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. You know what I'm trying to say. A part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in orchestrated performance of sexual activity with Combs, and at times with Combs and male commercial workers. At times, Combs and others acting in his direction, made arrangements for women and commercial workers to fly to Combs' location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same, and using intimidation and violence. I want to talk about this real quick because ASAP Rocky's lawyer was also on the TMZ documentary, and he was saying that while they're bringing this against Sean, right, or against P. Diddy, that these were all like ex-girlfriends and they were willing participants regardless. So then I think a question was asked, well, what if they were willing participants, right? And they decided that they didn't want to do it no more. Well, he's allegedly would threaten them, threaten their families, threaten to have them unalived. And so they were afraid of him, and he continued to drug them against his will. So what the lawyer was saying to me, what I took out of it is that it's going to be hard for the prosecutors to go up against this defense with these type of allegations when you have willing participants. And I don't think that you can be a willing participant if you took a drink and there were drugs in your drink and all of a sudden you're out of your mind. How does that make you willing, right? So
Right.
I'm not sure that would be hard for the prosecution to fight that. But that's what he's saying. He wasn't saying that Diddy got this nailed in he said he got this and it's going to be an open shut case. He's not saying that, but he's saying that the prosecution is going to have to fight a little bit harder because you can't prove that these weren't willing participants because they were previous girlfriends. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah. So moving on, physical abuse by Sean Combs and all his aliases. The defendant was recurrent and widely known. On numerous occasions from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years, Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects, and kicking them. You know what that's referring to, right? So it's referring to, in my opinion, the video that was made public to everybody in the world, this is exactly what happened. He snatched her, he kicked her, he drug her, he picked up the vase and threw it at her. And he's saying that it wasn't just her that he did it to, it was numerous women over a long period of time, over years. It extended. Combs' violence was also not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witnesses in his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. On one occasion, at a Los Angeles hotel, well, here it is, in or about March 2016, which was captured on video and later publicly reported, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave. When a member of the hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. Bribe the staff member to ensure silence. Subsequently, Combs, with the assistance of several close associates, paid hotel security staff $100,000 for the hotel surveillance footage of the assault. Now, did we talk about like who we thought or how we thought that they got their hands on this video of him doing that to Cassie? Like, people are thinking people are saying that Cassie provided that video to them, which I don't know about that. I just think that there was a previous worker, and the worker got paid for the footage and gave it up. I don't think, that's just my opinion. I just really don't know because it hasn't been said. But I think that there was a previous worker that got a hold of it and was just waiting for the right time to be paid, and probably paid more than we can imagine for it. Anyway, Sean Combs defendant used the Combs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his acts of violence, abuse, and commercial sex. Those employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors and other close associates, acted as Combs' intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Combs' control of the Combs business, the Combs enterprise. So let me see what I wanted to get to. Was it okay? I'm gonna let you talk. Is there anything at this point you want to say, Harlem?
Yeah, because I'm think like you, because at first I had thought maybe the feds had got the video when they did the raid, because it was like, the video came out afterwards. But then I'm saying, they're gonna taint the case by putting out video footage like that. It has to have been somebody that was either in his camp or somebody from the hotel or something that may have had the footage that leaked it. That's how I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, I'm so there's always somebody that has control of the celebrities' things, right? Some trusted person that,
Right.
no matter what it is, this person is in control of all of this personal stuff that is not public, that all this stuff, right? And if he allegedly paid the hotel to prevent that from coming out, so I think it was in his possession. This is just my thoughts, that it was possibly in his possession once he paid them. And when whoever had their hands on that this is just my opinion, y'all. Whoever had their hands on that video, when they saw people coming out against Diddy, right? When Cassie came out, and then after Cassie, the floodgates open, right? And when whoever had that saw that, they said, this is my time, right, to get paid. And I believe highly that it was somebody possibly in his camp that got it from the worker that had their hands on it, paid the worker, and then Diddy had that tape this whole time. And whoever was in possession of all of his personal stuff, right, including that tape, I think that's kind of how they got it. Because I'm with you. I don't think the feds would have, excuse me, have the tape and then use that and then put it out for the world to see, because it would affect or could affect the case in some way.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just one way. There's been so many scenarios of how it got out, but I mean, that kind of makes sense. Like, they've been having it all this time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah,
as soon
but the him making the payment for the footage, that's going to be the bribery.
right, so right, that's the bribery part. And if he's paying you, then he want it in his hands. And you, if Diddy's like they say he is, he gave whoever the money, gave them the orders to go get that tape, pay that man, and bring that tape back to me. I want it in my hands, all copies in my hand. And whoever is responsible, that's just, I mean, that's just a possibility. That's what I think. But that's a part of bribery. Okay, let's move on before I ask you that. I'll ask you later.
Okay.
All right. So, where are we? From at least, did I already read that? From at least in or about 2004 through in or about 2024, Sean Combs, the defendant, and others known and unknown were members and associates of a criminal organization. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, ex trafficking, forced labor, in interstate transportation for purposes of process. We already read that, right?
I think so.
Yeah, let's move on. I'm just going to go down to the purposes of Combs Enterprise. The purpose of the Combs Enterprise include the following: operating a global business in the media, entertainment, and lifestyle industry, including, among other things, record labels and record studios and apparel line. I said that too. We already did that. Means and method of enterprise. Did I do all that? That's what I get for stopping. Among the means and methods by which Sean Combs, the defendant, and other members and associates of the Combs Enterprise conducted and participated in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs Enterprise included the following: Combs and other members and associates of the Combs Enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs's at the Combs business role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs's orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. See right there. So as to the lawyer that was speaking on, past girlfriends, they were lured, into this orbit, as they're calling it, of Combs, and saying that, Combs wants to date you, gonna have this romantic relationship and this beautiful life. And then it all ended up, falling apart with the the freak offs and all the other things. That's what I think. But anyway, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship, Combs then used threats of force, and coercion to cause victims, including but not limited to 3 female victims, victim 1, 2, and 3, to engage in commercial acts. In connection with the commercial acts, Combs provided the victims with, among other things, monetary payments, career opportunities, and payment of rent and housing expenses. Some of the commercial acts involved male commercial workers and were referred to by Combs as, among other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced performances that Combs arranged, directed, did that during, and often electronically recorded. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of other members and associates of the Combs Enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial workers across state lines. See, we know all that. We know all that. After freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. We know all that. I thought I saw where each members and associates of Combs Enterprise enable Combs control over victim by following his directions regarding financial payments to victims, advancing or suppressing the victim's career opportunities, and acquiring the controlled substances Combs used to keep the victims compliant. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise at times witness Combs violence towards the victims or the victim's injury caused by Combs without intervening. Instead, members and associates of the Combs Enterprise helped conceal the violence and abuse by, among other things, assisting Combs in monitoring and preventing victims from leaving locations such as hotels or Combs's residences. These occasions included instances in which a victim was required to remain in hiding, sometimes for several days at a time, to recover from injuries Combs inflicted without being publicly observed. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise also assisted Combs in locating and contacting victims who attempted to flee his abuse. So right there, we're not just talked about like maybe they were all in at first, right? And willing participants. But when they saw how it all was played out, they tried to leave. And what did he do according to this? He would he would go try to locate them and abuse them or threaten them or whatever he did.
Right.
Yeah. So it wasn't as though like I could say, okay, I was having fun at first. I appreciate everything you did for me, but I'm gonna just bow out. He wasn't letting that happen. Like it was you had to pay the price to leave and bow out. Allegedly, according to this. So Combs, along with the members and associates of the enterprise, also maintain control over certain employees of the Combs business, whom he forced to work long hours with little sleep through use of, among other things, physical force, psychological harm, financial harm, and reputational harm, and/or threats of the same. In doing so, Combs, assisted by members and associates of the enterprise, caused these employees to believe they would be harmed, including by losing their jobs, if they did not comply with his demands. With respect to one employee, Combs used physical force, psychological harm, financial harm, and reputational harm, and/or threats to the same to cause the employee to engage in S acts with Combs. I'm sitting here saying, who was that?
Yeah, I'd tell you victim one, we all know who victim one is, but two and three, it's, a question.
It could be anybody. It could be anybody.
Yeah, but victim two, he was still financially supporting up until 2024. So
That's
victim two was around.
I could say who I think it was. Like, I don't know. It's kind of I don't know, Harlem. Do you have an idea?
I do.
I do.
I'm thinking that did you see the Tasha K interview with the I think she was Asian girl?
Yes. Yes. Yep. Yep.
That's who I'm thinking that it may be.
She could be two or I mean, she could be either one of them.
Two
Yep.
or three.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Three, they don't give enough description of, things with three for me to kind of figure out who three may be.
Yeah. But you're absolutely right. It could be her.
Yeah.
Oh no, that makes me think. But yeah, that's a high possibility.
Yeah, I think she may be one of them.
So when employees witness to his abuse or others threaten when employees witnesses to abuse or others threaten Combs' authority or reputation, Combs and members of the and associates of the enterprise engaged in acts of violence, threats of financial reputation, verbal abuse. These acts of violence included arson and multiple acts of kidnapping, including one instance of kidnapping during which Combs carried and displayed a firearm to a female victim. In addition, on multiple occasions, Combs threw both objects and people, as well as hit, dragged, choked, and shoved others. On one occasion, Combs dangled a female over an apartment balcony. So we know who that is. When Combs's authority or reputation was threatened by the possibility of negative publicity or legal or law enforcement action against him, including in or about late 2023, following public allegations of Combs's crimes, Combs and members and associates of the enterprise pressured witnesses and victims, including through attempted bribery, to stay silent and not report what they experienced or knew to law enforcement. On phone calls, Combs and other members and associates of the enterprise, among other things, provided these victims and witnesses with a false narrative of events in an effort to conceal Combs's crimes. Combs caused these calls to be recorded on at least 2 occasions. So is that the woman that said that he called her like 15 times?
I don't know. I think that's just various witnesses that they were contacting. Because to me, how I'm reading it, said, once they found out these charges were coming, everything that was going on, it was like they were reaching out to people to make sure that they would say the right thing, I'm assuming.
Yeah. This is crazy. It's crazy. All right. So for at least in or about 2004 through in or about 2024 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Sean Combs and all his aliases, the defendant and others known and unknown, being persons employed by and associated with the Combs enterprise described in paragraphs 6 through 12 of this indictment, an enterprise engaged in and the activities of which affected interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly combined, conspired, confederated, and agreed together and with each other to violate the racketeering laws of the United States, to wit, Title 18, United States Code, Section 1962C, that is, to conduct and participate directly and indirectly in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activities, and the term is defined in Title 18, United States Code, Section 1961(1) and 1961(5), consisting of multiple acts involving kidnapping, chargeable under the following provision of state law, all that stuff, y'all. Because I don't want to read all that. Multiple acts involving bribery, chargeable under the following provision of the state law, California Penal Codes. Multiple acts indictable under Title 18, United States Section 1512. All that. It was a part of the conspiracy that Sean Combs, the defendant, agreed that a conspirator would commit at least 2 acts of racketeering activity in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise. From at least in or about 2009 up to and including in or about 2018 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, as part of his agreement to conduct and participate in the conduct of the affairs of Combs enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activities, Sean Combs, the defendant, agreed to, in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly recruit, entice, harbor, transport, provide, obtain, advertise, maintain, patronize, and solicit by any means of person knowing in reckless disregard. Knowing in reckless disregard of the fact that means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion, as described in Title 18, United States Code, Section 1591E2, and any combination of such means would be used to cause the person to engage in a commercial act in violation of Title 18, United States Section, all that. From at least in or about 2021 up to and including in about 2024 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere as part of his agreement to conduct and participate in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. Sean Combs, the defendant, agreed to, in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly recruit, entice, harbor, transport, provide, obtain, advertise, maintain, patronize, and solicit by any means a person knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact of means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion as described in Title 18, United States Code Section 159(1)(e)(2), and any combination of such means. Dang, that was just all of that was count one? Dang. All right, so
Because I think on count one, I think that was the special sentencing factor.
okay. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So count two is S trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. The grand jury further charges from at least in or about 2009 up to and including in or about 2018 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Sean Combs, the defendant, in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, provided, obtained, advertised, maintained, patronized, and solicited by any means a person knowing and in reckless disregard the fact that means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion as described in Title 18, United States Code Section that all that. And any combination of such means would be used to cause the person to engage in a commercial S act and attempted, aided, and abetted and willfully caused the same, to wit, Combs recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, maintained victim one, and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused victim one to engage in commercial S acts, knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that victim one was engaging in commercial S acts as a result of force, fraud, and coercion. We know who that is. Well, we know who we think that is. We think we know. Count three. Transportation to engage in P, the P word. The grand jury further charges from at least in or about 2009 up to and including in or about 2018 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Sean Combs, the defendant, knowingly transported individuals to intense foreign commerce. Oh, victim one again? I thought this was victim two. Oh, okay, I see it down there. All right. Individuals engage in P, the P word, and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused the same. All of that, but not limited to victim one and commercial S workers in interstate and foreign commerce on multiple occasions with the intent that they engaged in the P word. Count four. So there's five, right?
Yes.
Okay. So count four, S trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. The grand jury further charges from at least in or about 2021 up to and including in or about 2024 in the Southern District of New York, Sean Combs, the defendant, in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly recruited, all of that, same thing. And any combination of such means would be used to cause the person to engage in a commercial S act and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused the same, to wit, Combs recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, ported, and maintained victim two, and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused victim two to engage in commercial S acts, knowing the reckless disregard of the fact that victim two was engaging in commercial S acts and as a result of force, fraud, and coercion. Count five. from at least in or about 2021 up to and including in or about 2024 in the Southern District of New York. Sean Combs, the defendant, knowingly transported individuals to interstate and foreign commerce with the intent that the individuals engaged in P and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused the same to wit Combs transported, including but not limited to victim two, same thing, commercial victim two and commercial S workers in interstate and foreign commerce on multiple occasions with intent that they engage in P word. As a result of committing the offense alleged in count 1 of the indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, shall forfeit the United States pursuant to Title 18 United States Code, Section 1963, and any and all interest the defendant acquired or maintained in violation of Title 18 United States, all that stuff. I'm sorry, y'all. And any and all property constituting and derived from proceeds obtained directly and indirectly said offense, including but not limited to a sum of money in the United States currency representing the amount of proceeds traceable to the commission of said offense. As a result of committing the offense alleged in counts 2 and 4 of this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, shall forfeit the United States pursuant to Title 18 United States Code Section 1594 any and all property, real and personal, involved in, used, or intended to be used to commit or to facilitate the commission of said offenses, and any and all property traceable to such property, any and all property, real and personal, constituting and derived from proceeds obtained directly or indirectly as a result of said offenses, including but not limited to a sum of money in United States currency representing the amount of property involved in said offenses and proceeds traceable to the commission and said offenses. As a result of committing the offense alleged in count 3 and 5 of this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, shall forfeit the United States pursuant Title 18 United States derived from proceeds obtained directly or indirectly as a result of said offenses, and any and all property, real and personal, that was used to intended to be used to commit or facilitate the commission of said offense in Title 18 United States Code, and all property, real and personal, that constitutes or derived from proceeds. It says the same thing. Substitute assets provision. What does that mean? If any of the above described forfeitable property as a result of any act or omission of the defendant cannot be located upon exercise of due diligence, has been transferred or sold to or deposited with a third person, has been placed beyond the jurisdiction of the court, has been substantially diminished in value, or has been commingled, I don't know what that's saying, with other property which cannot, commingled with other property which cannot be subdivided without difficulty. It is the intent of the United States pursuant to Title 18 United States Code Section 1963, all those codes, to seek forfeiture of any other property of the defendant up to the value of the above forfeitable property, whatever all that means. And there you have it. How do I get?
Yeah, I think they did the superseding indictment separated like that. My belief, I'm thinking, because his defense is looking for a speedy trial.
Right.
So they trying to make it where they'll push it back. You know, they'll be the ones to say, "Oh, we're not going to be ready on I think it's May 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll need to push it back a couple of weeks or whatever, you know?"
So that we can prepare for it. Yeah.
Right.
I believe that. Yeah, I agree with that. It's crazy though. That's a lot for one person. I'm just curious as to see, like, his assistant, like what's going to become of her, because it feels like a Ghislaine Maxwell thing with her, right? Which is why she came out and expressed that she did not do these things, and she's stressed out. So I believe, if no one else is affected by this, which I don't believe it will, I think that she will be affected by this somehow.
Right.
I really do. I really think that there'll be some charges that they can bring, uh, or will try to bring against her, um, for aiding and abetting, for assisting him, and
Right.
doing all the things that he did.
Right.
Ghislaine Maxwell tried to fight that. Like, that was not me. Like, she tried to fight it, but I mean, somehow, some way, they were able to find her guilty. And it was because she was assisting, aiding, and abetting.
Right. She was involved in some way.
Was that, like, it was almost like that it was her job to do that thing, those things, to go out and recruit and bring back. It seems like, according to some of these alleged victims, that his Diddy's assistant is the one that set the things up, told him to go out and what to buy for the room, and how to prepare the rooms, and how to, how does she get out of that?
Yeah, because the other assistant that spoke on the documentary, he still had text messages and voice messages on his phone.
See, so exactly. So I don't see how she gets out of it. I I that I mean, the proof, you can't, the video don't lie, the recording don't lie.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right, but it'll be interesting to see it all play out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I can't wait for the trial to begin, to cover those things and see what the outcome is going to be. It just all feels like, our R. Kelly story all over again. Um, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that this is happening. But I think we talked last week, Harlem, about how you build up this beautiful empire for generational wealth for your family, right? And all while doing that, you're doing things that are so foul that catches up with you, and then all of that just crumbles around you. And everybody that you're responsible for, your mom, your family, your homes, your business, your employees, everybody is affected by that, by your actions, because you got so big that you were such a boss that you made those kind of decisions for your life, to violate people, instead of instead of building that empire for people's good, for his own good.
Yeah, but he's not the only one.
He's not the only one.
It's many more out there.
It is. I think it is just what I'll say is, I interviewed a lady last night. She's in the music business, and trying to maneuver through the business. She was like, she was offered that in order to get deals, right? That they said, you got to do this if you want this to happen, if you know what I mean, right? And she was able to say, nah, I'm good, and go another way. But she said, so many people, they are so hungry for it that they will compromise um, their morals and their values to be put on. And then once they get in, it really doesn't pan out to be what they thought it was going to be, right? It really became worse than what they thought it was going to be. Um, but I would say that in 2025, first of all, a lot of people ain't using the big machines and having to go through that route anymore. That's first of all. And
Right.
And second of all, people are too up on the game. They're too smart now. Like, I don't need you. I don't need you, the big machine. It might take me a little bit longer to get where I need, but I don't need you. I don't need to compromise my body and my morals and my values to get what I need any longer. That was back in the day. We ain't doing that no more. But the people that did suffer from it, it's many, many more. Like you said, it's just that they got caught. These people got caught.
Right. Right.
After so long, many years, like that just became their life to wake up. We gonna have this freak off after this is happening today, and this what your job today is to go get all these bottles of baby oil. Your job today is to go figure out the jelly oil, the liquor that we're going. These cups right here are going to be with allegedly these glasses are for certain people because these glasses, you know what I'm saying, are for certain people. These other glasses is just for the other people that come and is going to leave. These right here, you guys got to make sure that you're responsible for these drinks right here. That's crazy.
Right.
That's crazy. But it happened. And I get it. I mean, they're working for Sean Combs, right? And that was a big deal, but it's just not worth it.
Yeah, it's not.
Just not worth it. So it remains to be seen. I just next month it begins. The show begins next month.
Yeah.
And they tried to bring like his mom in it and say that she was responsible for stuff, and I think it got thrown out, but it just, it just affects everybody around you. When you I don't know what to say. I just don't know. I just can't imagine. Can't imagine hurting people. Like, I don't know. But we'll see.
Yeah, it was a civil lawsuit that was against the mother, the guy Kirk Burrows that was president, a bad boy at one time.
Yeah.
He did the civil suit against her. I don't know what happened with it though.
I think it got thrown out. I think it was I don't call me, but I believe it was like dismissed. But I would have to go back and look at that. But I think I recall that it was dismissed or something.
Hmm.
I don't know. I have to look. But it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. I mean, his money's dwindling. He's got to pay his lawyers, right? He's still having to maintain his house. He's still got to take care of his kids. Like, it's a lot, and with no income, there's no money being made.
No, there's nothing coming in.
It's crazy. Which we can move on. I've been on that. I wasn't intending to read all 17 pages, but anyways, let's move on to Russell Brand. So if you guys don't know who he is, like he is Russell. Did you look at his charges?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so he started out being I think he's like a podcaster, and then he got on MTV, and he's a comedian, and then he became this actor out of the UK. And just recently he moved, like a year ago, moved to Florida. But really well known, right? And he is being accused of SANR, according to the London authorities, on multiple offenses. So there are 4 women that came out in different parts of the UK saying that he violated them between 1999 and 2005. And he made a video, so he responded to it, and he was like, "Listen, I told y'all, I was on drugs. I was an addict. I was a wild child. I was all those things. But what I wasn't is somebody that would violate a woman. Like, I did not." He said, matter of fact, I will quote what he said. He said, "I was a drug addict, um, a S addict, a imbecile. I was an imbecile. But what I never was was a R word. I've never engaged in non-consensual activity. So these women have come out and accused him, and he has now been indicted, I believe, on these charges.
Yeah, do you know one of the girls was 16 and he was 30? Their
So
age of consent is 16.
where in UK?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So then if that was the age of consent, then he
But
was
it wasn't they're saying
he's
she's
saying
saying it wasn't consensual. It was a investigation they did because these girls had came out with these accusations and they investigated it. I think it was 18 months. And then that's when they decided to charge him.
yeah. Well, so I mean he has a whole family now. That was years ago. So he's married with a whole family, and he's just like, this is, he did admit, I had a problem with being like I was a S addict. I did that, I'm telling you, but not one time was it non-consensual. So that's what he's up against. He's having to face that. I really was like, who is this man? But he was talked about so much. I was like, I gotta go see who he is. Like, what the deal is with him. So he did make a name for himself in the industry, and he was doing his thing, and it has caught up to him. And
Right.
we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So Joe, I always get his tap. What's his name?
I
Joe.
know he's talking about he was ASAP Rocky's
Yeah,
lawyer.
Joe Tacopino. He has come out and he has confirmed that he is Wendy Williams' personal lawyer. He's her personal representative. And so again, if y'all don't know who he is, he just won a case for ASAP Rocky. He's a high profile lawyer. And when he came out, he was like, I'm confirming this, but it still there has to be like this approval process. And he said they hate to see him coming. So at this point, he is representing Wendy Williams, in this conservatorship, and to see, we'll see what happens with it. It just seems it feels like, she's making some good ground, and I think he's a good lawyer. I think he's a good attorney. I think he's a good he talks a good game, and he stands behind it. So I don't know. I just wish her the best. I just wish her the best.
Right, because I think once she has her own personal lawyer, things will probably work better out for her because everything was going through the judge and through the court, you
Yeah.
know?
And it was everything they said. It was just like I said, like her doctors, she wanted to see her own doctors. No, you'll see this doctor. She wanted to go do this. No, you're going to do it this way. You
Right,
know, and she needed somebody that was stronger than her voice behind her, that could do things and move and shake legally, right? And do it legally, abide by the laws, and then get her some real help. Because at one point, and I can imagine it was just her like fighting against all of them, because they shut down the family. The family, it just didn't even matter what they were talking about. This conservatorship, this woman, whoever, the guardian, whatever, they just had total control. But she's making headway. She now has, I think, the biggest, that is huge, to have him as a lawyer and have him on her team to be fighting for her, because he is a good lawyer. And like he said, they hate to see him coming because they know he gonna let them have it.
right, right,
And by right, but I just hope that on this journey to her getting, what she needs, and what she wants, and winning this, that along the way they're putting things in place for her, so that, because again, I don't think she's 100% well, but I don't think she's so far gone that she can't be, she can't function on her own. But I think there's just things that need to be in place for her personally, for like, that they look at her daily life, like what would she need daily, and put those things in place for her, so she can maintain and have a good well-rounded life.
Right, right. I think she's entitled to, live like everybody else lives.
Yeah. I don't think,
Mhm.
I think by no means does she need to be in a place where she's sitting in a room. Like that will drive you crazy when you're not crazy. If you ain't crazy, you will be crazy, you know,
Exactly.
in a place like that. And she just, you won't even give her an iPad. Like what? Like she has the money for it. Go take her money and buy her an iPad. It makes me mad when I think about it. So get out of here. I go
Because
ahead.
it's like she can't even come and go as she wants to because she was saying that somebody has to escort her to the elevator. They have to unlock the elevator for her to go anywhere. So it's
Absolutely.
like she can't even just go get some air.
Right. And so it was just, I mean, okay, let's just say, let's just say that she needed like to be in a place, in a facility. She didn't need to be in there with 80 and 90-year-old people who are senile and lost their minds. She didn't need that. And she didn't need to be in a place where she's locked, like locked in a prison. Let me
Right.
go outside. Let me call a driver to take me shopping. I need to run to my doctor. You know, she needs that kind of freedom. And I don't, and if the truth be told, I don't think she needs to be in a facility. She needs to be around family, but she still needs I think she still needs to have a neutral person that is trusted, that she trust for other things.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
because we know her son kind of was careless with the money. So, and he's young, so she needs somebody that she trusts to help her with her finances and just to kind of help her maneuver during the day, through her daily life. But she deserves to be free and be Wendy, because they're taking all of her character away from her, by having her locked up like that.
Exactly.
It's taking a toll on her, and I can see why. So anyway, you guys, so you remember when we talked about Sean Kingston and his mom, and I said, I feel like his mom had been arrested before for something. Well,
Mhm.
it was confirmed that she has done time before for the same related charges that has now. And so it's just like almost like you already went down for this before, why are we doing this again? And they kind of explained, what they were doing, right? And how it became fraud and wire fraud and all that. And they were saying that the reason that his mom had to go to jail right now and he was able to do the ankle monitor is because, first of all, she had a previous charge, right? Of
Mhm.
that kind of is the same that they have now. And for two, um she's a flight risk, and the reason they say that is because she's not, while Sean Kingston is not this big celebrity, right? He is celebrity, and if people see him they'd be like, oh, that's Sean Kingston, right? But it wouldn't be hard for her to flee, right? She has ties, they have ties to Jamaica, and so they were taking a chance by leaving her out, because if she was to flee somewhere, people like, if Sean, they were saying if Sean Kingston was to be out and he was to flee, try to run, then wherever he goes, people going to know that's Sean Kingston, right?
That yeah.
But if wherever if his mom does it, people, I mean, she's just like a normal everyday person, she ain't really like that, and that it would be easier for her to do that. So she had a couple of things against her why she couldn't be on home arrest and house arrest and have an ankle monitor. They said he did yell out in court, protect my mama, and was crying. And I get that, that's his mama, right? And at that point there was nothing he can do about it. They're going to take her to jail, and then it's not nothing you can do about it. And so that's kind of effed up. But they were saying that mom might have been, and I think you said it, Harlem, that she might have been the leader of the ring, right? Because
Mhm.
they're thinking that because of the fact that she has done something like this before and did time for it. And so is this something that she turned him on to? And they were saying his defense was trying to say he's just a kid and he was just careless with his money and this and that. But this man 35 years old. He ain't no baby. Like
No.
he's not a little kid. He's a 35-year-old man. And that's the choices that they made, and they just never paid those people. But they had the opportunity, right, to pay the people back before it got to this, and they didn't. So allegedly they did not do it, right? So
Oh, I didn't know that.
yes, why not pay these people back? Go get on a payment plan if you have to, right? To be going to prison. And I think, and what they said today was they got 5 counts, and each charge carries up to 20 years. And they said in a federal court that, like, their representation, their attorneys could say, okay, to the judge, if you could give, we understand we got these 5 charges, but we want to run them concurrently, right? But in a federal law, he don't have to do that. He can consider it if he wants to, but at the end of the day, he can do what he wants to do. He can give them a little bit more time or a little less, or they can run. So really, it's like all they have to stand on is when they go to sentencing is to plea their case, right? To get less time as possible. So, yeah, they're facing, him and his mom are facing prison time, and sounds like pretty significant time.
Hmm. Yeah, but I said that the mother may have brought him into whatever.
Hmm. Whatever they were doing. So they were saying that what he was doing and they said he was throwing his celebrity around, right? Which he's not a big celebrity like that anymore. He had a big hit or whatever,
Right.
but he's not like that, right? And they said what was happening is, like, they was getting he's getting this game system, they was getting surround sounds, they was getting this jewelry. And when he would talk to the people, he would say, like, I'm Sean Kingston, right? Now, wouldn't you like for me to go in? Wouldn't you like to let me get this? What I'm going to do in return is I'm going to make this commercial. And not only that, about your product, but not only that, I'm going to bring Justin Bieber in it. And he's going to make a commercial. And what happened is there was never a commercial made, and there was never going to be a Justin Bieber in it. Justin was never going to do that. Justin's a way bigger celebrity than Sean Kingston. So none of that ever happened, and they never got a dime of their money. So where the wire fraud came in is that his mom or whoever allegedly created these documents that said that they made payments. Here it is. Here's the receipt right here. We made the payments, but they were fake documents, and they electronically sent them over. And so that's what becomes wire. Like, you create this document that says you paid on it, and you
Mhm.
paid not a one dime on none of that. And so that's how he got caught. That's how they got busted.
Wow.
Crazy. Yep. And in cahoots with his mama.
Yeah, that's just crazy that you're doing what you're doing, and then you're going to pull your kid in with you. Even though he's grown, he should be able to make his own decision.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to pull your kid into it?
Yeah. And it sounded so good to him, right? Well, if mama saying this, maybe so. But me, I'd be like, mama, girl, you better come on over here. We just got to go get us a 9 to 5. We not getting ready to do that. If we want
Right.
it, I'm like, one of us have to be level headed, right? To say we
Exactly.
are not going to do that. We're going to do things the right way. But I think a lot of that, Harlem, is that, he at one time he was really hot because of the music that he made, that hit, that gave him a name. And when that stuff starts to dwindle, and he had his 5 minutes of shine or whatever, right? And when that starts to dwindle, it's like they like trying to figure out, how do I maintain this lifestyle? How do, like, I've been able to live like this, and now it's kind of slowly dwindling away. How do I get to maintain this lifestyle? And you'll hear in the industry that people come out and be fire and have one hit, a single, and then you never hear from them again. So everybody don't get to last in the industry. And then once they but like for him, he lasted, enough to where now, like, dang, I can't even pay for the surround sound, but I know how I can get it. Your mama telling you, I know how we can get it, and
Mhm.
maintain. It's a level. I'm gonna use Wendy again. So Wendy is used to, she said this too. She said, I always wanted to be a superstar. I love being in front of the cameras. I love being on TV, right? And you take that away from her, that messes with your mental. You won't even give her an iPad. She could do like YouTube channels or anything while she's sitting in the room, right? But you won't even give her, you taking that all away from her. She hadn't been able to maintain the lifestyle that she had been used to. And it takes a toll. And that's exactly like, I don't know about them, but why else couldn't you be able to pay for the stuff instead of
Right.
doing it illegally? I don't know. But as you know, and as I said again, Sean Kingston ain't this. He's not a big name celebrity. People know him. I mean, he's known, but he ain't a Justin Bieber like what Bieber was. He dang show he ain't a Usher or Chris Brown.
Right. He's not, because I mean, I don't even remember his couple of hits that he had
Right?
out.
It was only a couple, and she was like, and it was, I ain't gonna say that on here, but anyway, it wasn't a sister that said they was singing his song. I'm like, what was his song? Help me. Help. I really need help. What was his song? No, Harlem.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't remember. I don't remember. Maybe, I mean, I'm sure if I heard, I'd be like, oh, yeah. Matter of fact, let me see. What was his song? I know it's late over there. You ready to go to bed?
No, you fine.
Okay. I know you're an hour ahead of me.
We had the crowd on Saturday. On Friday, I guess everybody is hanging out or something.
Yeah, they must be, but we gonna be back tomorrow, so we gonna see. I've decided I'm gonna try to do Friday and Saturday. And then now I'm
Okay.
gonna go hook up with the and try to figure out the TikTok. Because if I could be live on both of those at once, right? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I think you can.
Because if I could do that, that would be good. So I'm gonna figure that out. But yeah, Friday, I mean Saturday it was going down, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had a whole little chat when when we had technical difficulties.
And that was jacked up. And now we got things back together. Ain't a soul here.
It's okay. They'll
Yeah,
be here tomorrow.
yeah, because we will. That's for sure. Let me see what Sean Kingston um, hit song. Beautiful girls.
I don't know.
I don't know that. We about to see what it say. Mm, it's, I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. Sean Kingston. That's when he was young.
Hmm.
I don't know, but I don't know nothing about no beautiful girls.
I tell you, I don't remember none of the song.
It said it was his beautiful hit was Beautiful Girl.
Mm, I don't know.
I don't either, but it's playing in my head. Oh yeah, I know that. You hear it?
Yeah, I heard a little bit.
I can't play it too long. I remember that song. It was good. I don't know nothing else though. Anyway, Harlem, thank you for being here with me tonight.
Of
Tomorrow,
course.
Eric said he'll come on with us as well. So we may have another guest. I don't know, but I'll if you have some topics you want to talk about tomorrow, I'll look because like tomorrow when we wake up, it might be something new
Hmm.
that we talk about. But let me know if you have any. I'll send you what we talk about, and we'll come on tomorrow.
Okay, that's fine.
And thank you so much. You know, I appreciate you so much. You just don't know.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, and you have a good night, and we shall see you tomorrow. Are you gonna ever show your face?
You know the camera makes you look like you got what 10 extra pounds and whatever. So I don't know.
Oh, it's all good. Well, if you don't, it's okay. I appreciate you coming here and talking to me. I like having guests, so I be feeling like I'm talking to myself when I don't have a guest. But you know, I do it anyway. So anyway,
Yeah.
well, have
But
a good night.
when you
Uh-huh.
don't have a guest, you talking to your chat. It's the
I am.
same.
Yeah, I am. It just feel like I just need somebody up here for support or something. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I will see you tomorrow. I'll let you know what time for sure. And until then, have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right, talk to you later. Bye bye.
Okay.